Okay, we can start now. Whenever you're ready, Ishra.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. My name is Ishrat Nazmi. I am with the Connecticut Apex Accelerator, or CT Apex. Welcome to today's webinar, Innovative Partnership Opportunities with Lockheed Martin SBIR STTR Programs. The Connecticut Apex Accelerator is funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the Department of Defense. Matching funds are provided by Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, or DECD. Our host agency is Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region, or sector. Attendees will have the opportunities to ask questions during these presentations. The session material will be emailed to you after the presentation, so be sure to raise your hand and ask questions. Next slide. Connecticut Apex Accelerator provides educational resources and training to simplify the complexities of government contracting for our clients. We offer assistance with federal, state, and local government registrations, certifications, including various socioeconomic certifications at both federal and state level. Connecticut Apex provides support to clients in the following areas: market research with providing procurement assistance, procurement history, identifying bid opportunities, preparing bid proposal. We offer one-on-one counseling that's personalized one-on-one counseling, creating government-friendly capability statement, bid matching service at no cost. CT Apex Accelerator has 6 office locations throughout Connecticut, which includes East Hartford, Rocky Hill, Milford, Bridgeport, Stamford, our headquarters in Groton, Connecticut. Next. Connecticut, connect with us at CT Apex on our social media platforms, including Facebook and LinkedIn. Register online at ctptac.org, where you can sign up for government contracting assistance and also access our learning library for various webinars on a variety of topics in regards to government contracting. In this presentation, Ms. Orysia Buchan, Orysia Buchan will cover the specifics and benefit of SBIR STTR programs and Lockheed Martin's SBIR team missions, the engagement and collaborations opportunity with Lockheed Martin. I am so pleased to introduce today's presenter, Orysia Buchan. She is the program manager with Lockheed Martin Corporations. So without further ado, let's welcome Orysia Buchan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that great introduction. So who am I? My background in Lockheed, well, first of all, I am the Government Programs Program Manager. As part of supplier diversity, I'm at the corporate level. Lockheed Martin has 4 business areas that I will touch upon later on. My background, I was in Finance Leadership Development Program. I was in Government Contracts. Business Leadership Development Program was part of Corporate Internal Audit. And then I went to supplier diversity. So my background is a little bit on the diverse side, but very happy to be here today in my regards to my current role. I am the government point of contact for Indian Incentive Program, Mentor Project, and the Small Business Innovation Research Program for corporate Lockheed Martin. So I'm extremely well versed. So I hope that this presentation is less of a presentation and more interactive. So should anyone have any questions, feel free to raise your virtual hands and someone will call on you and I will do my best to answer your question. Next slide. All right, actually, if you can go to the slide, thank you. So I mentioned the 4 business areas, and the title slide actually shows you a picture of each business area. So on the very left, you have Lockheed Martin Space, and they do obviously what you would think of anything that goes in space, GPS technology, satellites, etc. They are headquartered in Denver, Colorado, and they have also a very large facility in Sunnyvale, California, which is outside of San Francisco. There are obviously other locations across the US for each of these business areas, but I'm just naming the biggies. The next one, RMS, Rotary Mission Systems, and that is our LCS ship. And RMS is predominantly located in the Northeast, Syracuse, New York, Morristown, New Jersey, our large areas, Owego, New York as well, our RMS Sikorsky that we acquired, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, quite a long time now, that falls into RMS as well. Now, the third picture is kind of the glamour shots, if you will, of Lockheed Martin. Remember glamour shots from the 1980s? When you think of Lockheed Martin, you think, a lot of people think airplanes. So obviously this is the F-35 program. And the aeronautics business area is headquartered in Fort Worth, Texas. And they also have a large facility in Marietta, Georgia, also Palmdale, California. And last but definitely not least, Missiles and Fire Control, MFC. And they do missiles, they do fire control, hence the name. And this is a really cool picture of how we can take down targets from the air that were intended on killing us or our allies. So that is Lockheed Martin in a nutshell. Before collaborating with Lockheed Martin in the area of SBIR, you want to ensure you understand who we are. So I urge you to please visit our website to learn more about the company itself and how we are divided. Next slide. Thank you. So SBIR program, what is it? So when I talk SBIR, I mean SBIR and STTR together. So SBIR, Small Business Innovation Research Program, STTR, Small Business Technical Transfer Program. They are very, very similar, except for the fact that there is more money in SBIR than STTR. STTR is roughly $750 million program. SBIR is, well, together they're about 3.1 billion. So 3.1 billion minus 750 million. You can do the math. It's a lot more for SBIR than STTR. Also, if you're thinking SBIR, you do not need to collaborate with a research institution, whereas STTR, it must be a small business and a research institution collaborating together. That is a requirement. So there are 3 phases to SBIR. And again, when I say SBIR, I mean both of those programs together. Phase 1 is a white paper. So the US government issues, let's call it the DoD. DoD has 50% of all the funding. There are 11 federal agencies in total that do work with SBIR. But out of those 11, one of them being DoD, takes 50%, 50, of the funding. So we'll talk DoD. They do 3 major solicitations a year, and that could be 50 topics, it could be 150 topics. It just depends on the solicitation. NASA has their own solicitation once a year. The other agencies have their own as well. So for phase 1, topic comes out from the DoD, for example, and they will issue, call it 2 to 3 awards for phase 1. And depending on the agency, it could be between 75K to 240K. It can be 6 to 9 months in duration. Every agency has its own requirements, if you will. After that, phase 2, one company will be awarded that phase 2 on that topic, and that is where the rubber hits the road. That's a full research R&D to prototype, $1 to $2 million, 2 to 3 years in duration. And phase 3 is honestly kind of a misnomer, because it really is outside of SBIR at that point. It is utilizing non-SBIR funds to take that technology even further. So it can be being embedded in a program of record, excuse me. It can be the Air Force using non-SBIR funding to take it forward, etc. But really the goal is for Lockheed Martin is taking that technology and inputting it into a program of record. Now, I've talked to you about the phases. I've talked to you about SBIR versus STTR. What I failed to do is tell you, well, what the heck is SBIR? And hopefully maybe you already know, but it is America's seed fund. So it started out in 1982. The US wanted to ensure that we were on top technologically over any other country in the world for obvious reasons, right? So we took that SBIR funding, and basically any company that had an extramural budget, any government agency that had an extramural budget for R&D over $100 million must participate, and they have to spend a minimum percent of their extramural R&D budget of 3.2%. So that's why the budget of $3.1 billion is so large, because of that. So we are very interested in collaborating with small businesses. This program is for all small businesses, US-based, non-affiliated with any other country only. It is not for large businesses, but the good news is it can be any socioeconomic category. You can be just small, you can be only veteran, only whatever, and you qualify. Next slide. Nope. Thank you very much. So for this, we obviously, why would Lockheed Martin care for this? Well, because primarily external R&D funding. So we were able to capitalize on this government-funded, taxpayer-funded program and utilize it to supplement our contract R&D and our IRAD as well. So our CRAD and IRAD dollars, utilizing it to ultimately help the warfighter. I mean, that's why Lockheed Martin exists, because we want to ensure that the US is able to defend itself and its allies. And we do other than DoD work as well, but that is the majority of the work that we do. Customer relationships. We have great customer relationships. We are requested to speak at every major customer event and lead every major industry initiative. We're recognized by the customer as a gold standard in industry. So I'm not here from Lockheed Martin, pounding my chest saying, hey, we rock. The customer says that we are exemplary. And I will tell you, LM has had more SBIR successes within the last 3 years. We've had 50, by the way. And that is more than all of our competitors combined within that same 3-year period. The successes that we've had have led to performance and safety enhancements, manufacturing optimizations, and cost reductions and cost avoidances. So utilizing this program has really been a big differentiator, not only obviously to Lockheed Martin, but ultimately to our customer and to the warfighter. Next slide. Okay, thank you. So I had mentioned the 4 different business areas. Listed underneath here, you will see the 4 different technology areas that we're interested in. So if your company does work in any of those areas, and I'm not going to read them out to you because you can read them yourself, you'll be able to see pretty much where your fit would be. And we really want work to, as a team, build that long-term strategic relationship with small businesses. And I believe it's on the next slide or the slide after that, I will talk to you about how you can work with us. It's really important to mention that your technology could be absolutely amazing. But if you try to work with Lockheed Martin at the end of your phase 2, the odds of implementing that technology into a program of record are slim to none. We really need to ensure that we start working with you at the phase 1 level. because then we can help shape where we need that technology to go to help it come into fruition to get it into a program of record. So don't wait. Reach out to Lockheed Martin as soon as possible. A lot of companies do want to reach out to us to increase their chances of getting a phase one. So they basically want a letter of support, and we provide those to companies that we deem their technology of interest and a good potential for Lockheed Martin. Next slide. Okay, basically, we look at this as taking that SBIR funding and, again, supplementing the IRAD and CRAD dollars. About 25% of new awards every year are made to companies who have never been awarded an SBIR before. So we are constantly looking for the gems, looking for companies who can fill those technology needs. We go to a plethora of events throughout the year. Events such as this today, I think, are very useful because it will get the information out to you of how serious Lockheed Martin is about SBIR. And obviously the arrows here show the natural progression of technology development, going up the technical readiness level, TRL, or a manufacturing readiness level, MRL. Next slide. Okay, so we have been extremely successful, and this is non-proprietary. I would like to read the top to you, and you can see that $590.7 million cost avoidance for those transition technologies, and with whom we have collaborated regarding the small businesses. But the F-35 Lightning II program is pleased to highlight our successful small business partnerships in coordination with our industrial partners, Lockheed Martin and Pratt & Whitney. In participation, the SBIR program has been of significant value savings and are avoiding well over $500 million in life cycle costs and providing performance and sustainment enhancements. And that is from Christopher Bogdan, Lieutenant General, U.S. Air Force, retired, former PEO. So again, I can't provide you a lot of information due to LMPI, but you will see that the SBIR program really makes a difference to our program of making them leaner, meaner, cheaper, and ultimately to the US government, to the warfighter, and to taxpayer dollars. Next slide. This slide, and it sounds a little corny, but it's my favorite because this is why we are successful. As you see, I'm right here at Orysia Buchan, program manager. I have a co-lead, Craig Owens, who's on the technology side of the house, corporate engineering, technology, and operations, or CETO for short. He also wears dual hats with being our aero lead, as well as my co-lead, Joe Epstein from space, John Fontana, missiles and fire control. And our rotary mission systems, RMS, is broken down by product lines. So we have Eugene Morin, Su-6ISR, Andrew Richardson, IWSS, Deborah Wilbert, TSS, and Carl Palmer of RMS Sikorsky. But we have really, I think, cracked the code and supplier diversity working hand in hand with technologists, and it has really made all the difference in the world. Next slide. Probably the most interesting to you today is this slide. How the heck do we start collaborating with Lockheed Martin? Well, if you visit our website, lockheedmartin.com, suppliers, SBIR, and if you did not have the slide, all you have to do is remember lockheedmartin.com, suppliers, SBIR. You self-register your company into the Lockheed Martin SBIR distribution list. What that gets you is you will then be able to receive Lockheed Martin's topics of interest from the various government SBIR solicitations. So we usually have about 85% rate of interest in those solicitations. You would then get the topic number, topic title, You would receive BAs interested. It might be MFC and RMSC6ISR, for example. And then you'll get their email addresses to those individuals that I just showed you in that org chart. You would then contact them directly for topics of mutual interest for potential collaboration. There's a quad chart you would fill out that's located right on that website. See step 2 right there. Non-proprietary information only. And obviously you would certify that you're not affiliated with a foreign country. And then moving on from that, if we are interested in your technology, then we would provide you a letter of support. And we would like to work with you to further collaborate on that technology. It's not a letter of support here. Thank you, ma'am. You won, and then we don't hear from you again. No, we write those letters of support with an interest in your technology, and we want to help formulate them so we can actually utilize that in a program of record. That is where the true success comes from, as opposed to the technology sitting on a shelf. There are also other areas for high-tech firms under the avenues for high-tech firms. For example, LM Ventures is a possibility. We have different areas as well. I might have a slide on this. Can you go on the next slide, please? See if I have it written on. Nope, I don't. That's okay. If you can go back. Thank you. It's all in there, but we have, I don't know if you all have ever seen or heard of Shark Tank, but basically RMS Sikorsky has had a Shark Tank entrepreneurial challenge, I think it's called, for high-tech firms. And it is really, really cool and a great opportunity for high-tech firms as well. So we do a lot with SBIR companies because we're always looking for that gem. With that, I have said a lot of information in a short amount of time. Are any hands up? Any questions you have that I can answer?
Can you hear me?
I see. Yes.
Oh, hi. Yeah. So I was just curious. So my company has actually already submitted an SBIR proposal through the NSF seed funding. We submitted a white paper, got a positive review, and then we submitted the full proposal. Is that something where we could kind of go back, even though we've already submitted the proposal, and potentially work with Lockheed if it's of mutual interest?
Yes, I would, as soon as possible, fill out that quad chart located on that website, and it'll ask you to email a generic SBIR email address. I'm the person behind that, so I can attest that there is a real person. There's not a black hole. That will then be forwarded to the SBIR technologist for consideration, and should there be interest, someone will contact you directly.
Okay, how rapid is the turnaround time on that? Because we actually, you know, like one of our NAICS codes is 541715 that we work under, and so we've actually submitted, you know, not only SBIR, but we actually submitted a white paper to the ONR BAA about it. And so, you know, we're waiting to hear back, but I just go ahead.
We usually say within 10 business days.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Now, Memorial Day weekend, you know, it might take a hair longer than that, but I would say about that. Someone asked, what is a program of record? Program of record just means a program. Could be the LCS program, it could be the F-35 program, a Lockheed Martin program, I should say, or contractual program by the government customer to Lockheed Martin. Any other questions?
There's some Q&As. I don't know if you can see the Q&A tab.
Yep.
Okay. Do you work with data analytics or any service-based companies? We could, certainly. It really depends on what the technology is. so I don't want to say no, but the areas that we are really interested in now tend to be, I mean, it depends on the business area, to be quite frank with you. I can't tell you for sure, absolutely or no.
Orysia, I have a question. I was thinking, as you were describing, the difference between the SBIR and the STTR programs, what do you see in Lockheed Martin, more of the SBIR or the STTR side?
Oh, SBIR, absolutely, hands down.
Okay.
Because it's better funded, and the small businesses don't have to have a research institution involved. So we do STTR, absolutely, and we have been very successful with them, but I would say 80% of the time it's SBIR. And Lockheed Martin is involved in a lot of them, like we have 14 main technical domains that we utilize, and they're basically technology groupings. I'm just trying to answer that question better that I had, and unfortunately, I hate answering questions. It depends, but really, the answer to your question before is it depends.
Okay. Well,
other questions?
Yeah, please raise your hand if you have any questions.
There's another Q&A, couple of Q&A questions if you want to look at those.
Okay.
What if we don't have a proprietary product but offer sheet metal fabrications, metal stamping, and additive services? So are you thinking, Steve Trudeau, are you thinking more subcontracting versus SBIR? Yes, okay. So that is a different avenue. For there, I would like to guide you to lockheedmartin.com. And let me go right now just to ensure I'm guiding you to the right area. lockheedmartin.com. You go to suppliers, and instead of SBIR, you just go to supplier diversity. So lockheedmartin.com, supplier diversity. And it will ask you to self-register in our supplier database. And we couldn't issue you a PO today if you weren't in our database. So self-register, try to meet us, I would say, at different events. We have a list of events in which we participate throughout the year. If they make sense for you, for example, that might be something you wish to consider. We also have a corporate agreements listing listed right there. And that corporate agreements listing, if, for example, if there are any staffing companies, well, that's under corporate agreement. That means that we have a set number of suppliers on the list that you can purchase for staffing. And I'm just giving that as an example. Those companies we must utilize. So if you are a staffing company, again, in this example, you would email that email address right on the website, do your homework to determine target focus areas, corporate agreements listing, send request, and it will route you to an email address, supplier.communications@lmco.com, right on the website. And then you can ask, well, when is it under corporate agreement? And if so, when will that corporate agreement end? You will want to reach back 6 months prior to that corporate agreement ending with your capability statement, experience, expertise, socioeconomic status, etc. And then be asked to be considered for a future corporate agreement. All right, let's see the other questions. Our company focus, people are shy. I rather have people ask the questions, not write them, but that's okay. Our company focuses on AI and autonomy. We are especially interested in using Lockheed Martin to increase logistical and supply chain efficiency. Can we also submit a capability statement through the SBIR portal so that you can gauge interest? So SBIR portal is really about your technology, showcasing to us what your technology is. If you say you're interested in using Lockheed Martin to increase logistical and supply chain efficiency, So you might be talking more about mentor protege program, Joshua Kuhn, meaning taking your company and growing them as part of the government's mentor protege program. That is something that we do, and I will tell you the best agreements we have for mentor protege tend to be those that are SBIR companies. Why? Because you have a high-tech company, for example, but maybe you need help in production, supply chain efficiency, production, whatnot. And we can help you through that mentor protege program and taking you to that next level. And mentor protege has opened up for non-traditional companies, aka small businesses only, that are high-tech in nature. That said, if we are currently not collaborating with you for SBIR, and if we are currently not yet subcontracting with you, mentor protege is not yet for you with Lockheed Martin. We require that you either subcontract with us or we are collaborating together for SBIR before we enter into a mentor protege program with you. Joshua, I hope I was able to answer your question.
I'm so glad you mentioned mentor protege programs and how beneficial it can be if you started out as a innovation company and start working with Lockheed Martin with the SBIRSTTR program, and then it opens up the opportunity for a mentor protege program, which is so important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that was a good question. Michael Siegenfeld, forgive me if I killed your last name. Do you work or collaborate with software development companies, particularly those with products that might accelerate development efforts, but not necessarily related to a particular product? So yes, we do. That could be either for subcontracting or it could be for SBIR. It could go either way depending on the software needs, etc. So I would ensure that you register for both SBIR and our supplier diversity database. 2 different databases, goes to 2 different people. I don't see any other Q&A. Are there any hands?
I don't see any more questions. Did we miss anything? That was the last one. Yes, that was the last one.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. It has been a very insightful sessions, and I hope you have found the information valuable. I want to extend a special thank to Orysia, Program Manager for Lockheed Martin, for providing such a comprehensive overview of the innovation partnership opportunities available through SBIR STTR programs. Again, those who are interested in engaging with Lockheed Martin, I encourage you to visit their website. As it was shown earlier, that is the key to register and be informed and understand the process of how to be to work with Lockheed Martin SBIR STTR programs. For me, I think the key takeaway is that it's an opportunity to build long-term strategic partnership with Lockheed Martin, and what Orysia mentioned is that phase 1 level, that is a most important phase to start engaging with Lockheed Martin. And I also want to mention that Connecticut Apex Accelerator is dedicated to support technology startups and small business by providing assistance to navigate and succeed in the government contracting arena. Your CT Apex Accelerator counselor can assist you through one-on-one counselings, providing you guidance with all government agency SBIR STTR programs. And the way we help you with the SBIR STTR application is by agency matching. We can identify agency that needs your innovation. We can help you to understand the agency's SBIR STTR application process, assist you with navigating the registration process and requirements. So that is how your Apex Accelerator Council can assist you for all government agency SBIR STTR programs. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your counselors, and we will be happy to assist you. Thank you, Orysia Buchan, for your time today. And it was really wonderful to have you with us today.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you very much for having me. Have a good day,
And-
everyone.
Yes, and so this concludes our presentations. Thanks everyone for another exciting and informative webinar with the Connecticut Apex Accelerator. Please visit the Connecticut Apex Accelerator calendar page to sign up for all our upcoming events and workshops. You can also find the Connecticut Apex Accelerator training video library at ctptech.org. Thank you everyone again. See you soon for our next webinar. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.